Have you ever wondered why gear oil smells so bad? Well, that's today on Shoptel Engineering. Hey YouTube, Nate Vincent here with Shoptel Engineering. Today we're going to explain why gear oil reeks so bad and why it's so important. Gear oil is just like any other oil, but due to the high pressure environment that gears live in, there's an extreme pressure additive, or an EP, added to the oil. Just think, if your car has 400 foot-pounds of torque, all of that energy is going to be transferred from one gear to another gear, and for one moment in time, only one tooth will be handling that load. That's a lot of pressure. So let's look at oil film. Oil can only handle so much load. If you look here, we have an oil film. This is handling the load, but under extreme heat and extreme pressure that your gearbox will be within, you will see that the oil film will actually get pushed out and there will be no oil film between the two. This creates a metal-to-metal contact. When gears have a metal-to-metal contact, there's often a surface transfer from one gear to the next. This only happens momentarily, but this is what damages transmissions. So how do transmissions and differentials fail? Due to this metal-to-metal contact that we talked about here, what happens is there's a surface transfer. So the metal is pushed so hard against the other piece of metal that there actually is a transfer of material from one surface to the other surface. Then when they separate, that piece of metal typically falls off and ends up in your gear oil. If you ever change your gear oil and you have a lot of metallic in it, that's what's happening. If you look at the gear teeth afterwards though, there'll be little pits on them, creating a rougher surface that will eventually create stress cracks and fatigue in the gears. So adding a chemical compound to the gear oil, called an EP, typically made up of a chlorine or a phosphate or a sulfur, the last one being the smelly one, creates a 1 to 2 micron thick surface layer that bonds to the metal of the gear. So what happens here is when you have a no oil film situation, when the two gears are actually pushed together and you can see this oil being pushed out from between these gears, this 1 to 2 micron surface layer protects them. It creates a slippery boundary that is slightly harder than the gear itself. Adding extreme pressure additives to your gear oil has been proven to increase the gear life of your transmission 2 to 3 times longer than conventional oil without EPs added. So the next time you get annoyed that your gear oil smells, or don't want to do a particular job because it's smelly because it involves gear oil, just think, that smell in your gear oil is what's protecting your transmission every time you mash on the throttle. Thank you for watching, and for more Shoptel Engineering, don't forget to subscribe. And please leave a comment if there's any other topics you want us to discuss. Thanks again.